Hey guys, Matt here. This is my review of Resident Evil. Welcome to Raccoon City. This movie is directed by Johannes Roberts, who previously directed 47 Meters Down. And let me say that going into this film, if you're an average moviegoer and you're expecting a shallow horror film with very little premise, scares, and zombies, then you may like this movie. But if you're a fan of the Resident Evil video games, you're a fan of the franchise as a whole, and you are not a fan of the Paul W.S. Anderson and Mila Jovovich franchise, then you're going to love this movie. Considering what they were able to accomplish with the production value, the budget, the cast they were able to assemble, and considering everything was crammed into an hour 45-minute movie, this movie fired on all cylinders, and it was very good. Now, the cast here is pretty diverse. You don't have any real A-listers, but you do have some good talent to give this story credit. You've got Neil McDonough from Arrow, Yellowstone, Walking Tall, and a couple other movies, including the Street Fighter sequel that is the worst video game sequel. You've got Donald Logue from Gotham. You've got Robbie Amell from Arrow as well. You've got, I'm blanking on their last names, but you have a guy named Avin, played Leon Kennedy. He was from Zombieland 2. You've got Jill Valentine, played by Hannah. She was Ghost in Ant-Man and the Wasp 2. And then you have Claire Redfield, played by, I believe her name is Kaya. She was from Maze Runner and the latest Pirates film, and a couple others. I can't get into too many of the characters because I don't want to spoil anything, but you have a pretty diverse cast. Again, none of them incredibly great actors, including the guy that plays Leon Kennedy. I would say my biggest gripe with the film is his dialogue. He's depicted as a rookie cop, which is great because he's supposed to, but his dialogue is a little cheesy. Some of the dialogue in the film overall is a little cringy, but hey, this is not going to win any Oscars because this is the movie for the fans. I would say the dialogue's probably the worst part. However, the best part of this movie are the scares. There are a couple jump scares, but they're not cheesy, they're not lame. You actually feel terror because the way the zombies are depicted is just like the characters in the film. You don't know what's going on. You don't know why they're acting the way they are. But of course, fans of the video games, they're going to know you've got to have zombies in it. So the way they depicted zombies, it was pretty good. And let me say, this movie is filled with fan service, Easter eggs, references, whatever you want to call it, to at least 3 of the video games. Some of the scenes lasted longer than they should have, but overall it gets the point across. They had to condense 2 video games into an almost 2-hour movie. That's Resident Evil 1 with the Spencer Mansion, and Resident Evil 2 involving Raccoon City and the police department. And this film was pretty good. And all the characters that we know and love are not going to be in the film, but then again, how could they be? However, if you're watching the movie going, oh man, I wish this character made an appearance, or I wish this character donned their classic look, then you should probably stay after the credits, because there's a post-credit scene that had me grinning even more, and it got me very excited. Are they going to make a sequel to this? I really hope so, because look at all the acclaim and attention the Mortal Kombat YouTube series got, and they finally made a movie about that. And I wish that this movie was either a Netflix series, a longer film, or a series of movies, because there was a lot of content they could have dealt with. And considering what they handled and what they did, I was very impressed. So, because the movie was scary, because it added enough of the video game references, but not really too much to where that's the entire premise of the film, and actually gave it a plot, gave it a story, and of course it tied it in a unique way. So you're not going to have characters, interact with each other necessarily. Plot lines, timelines aren't going to line up, but it's okay because the way the movie was done, it made up for it. I'm going to give Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City, a B. This is definitely a movie for the fans. For the fans of the video game, for the franchise as a whole. I wish that the casting was done a little bit better, but again, what they were able to give us, I was very impressed with. So until next time, guys, see ya.